Valued at just under $1 million for 3 brand new vehicles. First prize is a luxurious Ford Ranger. Draw date is Saturday, January 24th at the College. Tickets only $100.
Final purchase date for physical tickets is this coming Monday, January 19th.
No further extensions. You hear? Some ticket outlets include IslandEtickets.com,
Legends Sports Bar, Point Fortin,
6 Liquor Mart, Barnes Road,
Mileage Mac, Porter's Green and San Fernando,
Fifth Street Market, R.A.P. Avenue,
Mepco, Marabar,
Tony's Hardware, Belmont,
Shane's Supermarket, Aruka,
Hot Shop, Mukarapa Road,
St. James Pharmacy, opposite the Police Barracks,
Anderson Fashion, opposite City Gate, Icebox, Riverside Road, Direct,
Dabity Discount Hardware, both outlets,
Color Shop, Diego Martin and St. James,
Juma Supermarket, Valencia,
MS Food City, Tebe,
Mirage Supermarket, Page Main Road. Get your tickets now.
Call the college at 622-1671 or the hotline at 491-1802.
Hello.
Welcome to Cover Star. This is Advanced Dynamics, where it all happened, the scene of the grind. For 4 days in December, this 22 by 30 foot studio turned an idea on paper into real-life reality TV. When these doors were shut behind performers, it was truth time. No audience, no applause. Just the cameras, the crew, and the ones who comment. Our mission is simple: bridge generations and genres. Jog our collective cultural memory. You're inside Cover Star, where music history meets its next voice. On WESN, the content capital.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, the Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity, from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378, or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
Every word, every line, every paragraph depicts a real moment in someone's life. A father, a sister, a mother, a brother. We at Newsday are dedicated to you, the people, and through independent, unwavering journalism, strive to always bring your stories to life. Because your stories are more than just words. Newsday, independent and credible.
Knowing how to tell authentic is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Find it, match it, search it. Step 1. Find the style number on the tag. Step 2. Match the style number inside the jersey with the number on the tag. Step 3. Search it. A quick Google search of the style number will verify the jersey is authentic when the search results match the jersey being searched. Don't be fooled by counterfeit jerseys. Before you buy, remember to find it, match it, search it.
Fan Zone, 2 locations nationwide. Center City Mall, Chaguanas and Movietown, Port of Spain. Nationwide delivery available.
We are tackling the hard-hitting topics, some controversial topics, some topics we sweep under the rug. You don't always have to forgive in a relationship for it to move forward.
If it is you are in a situation where you forgive the person, but to the detriment of yourself, what are you really doing?
It is very uncommon for somebody in the younger age group to have dementia.
Atheists don't not believe.
Is that I can't disprove God, but you also can't prove God, so we cannot have a stalemate.
We'll focus on the woman who's being the victim,
right,
or the man is being the victim. We exclude the children.
Folks are trying to study the underlying brain mechanism to figure out how does this particular disorder happen in the brain? How is the brain processing this?
Don't worry about AI, worry about humans working with AI.
Are you willing to learn new skills to stay relevant for the future job market? That's the challenge that people are going to struggle with.
Pastor J, I want to get a tattoo.
You really want
to me. Respond to me. How you would respond to me?
The first question I would ask is why.
Controversial taboo topics.
We get so consumed by church, we forget that we have to live the life of being a Christian outside of the Sunday.
Like you say, we think going to a service makes us a Christian.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. So we are about to hear the second time Pastor J wanted to take a tattoo.
Would have been late last year and early this year.
Hope Unfiltered podcast with Pastor J and Ren.
WESN.
Good morning and welcome to AM Prime on WESN. I am Naomi McNish. So this morning we are talking about the zones of special operations. This is a recent development. It's intended to replace the state of emergency. This morning I will be joined by pastor and social advocate, Clive Doughton, who has welcomed this proposal to introduce these zones of special operations as the country prepares to exit the state of emergency. Now, Pastor Doughton says the approach has worked in places like Jamaica, but only when strong policing is matched with meaningful social intervention. So this morning we will get his perspective on whether this can truly make communities safer without deepening division. Good morning, Pastor Doughton, and welcome to AM Prime.
Good morning, good morning. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you fine. How are you this morning?
Well, I am up early. I was up early preparing, because there have been certain developments and certain comments that have been made by a professional consultant who introduced. His name is Raymond Clayton. So I felt it was important to check what he was saying, since it's in a sense, it's part of his brainchild. He's not the only one who has advocated for that. Then I spent a month in Jamaica 2 years ago, so I was able to, see up close and personal how this operated.
Right. Now, how you've described this new initiative as a useful tool in a post-state of emergency, because I think a lot of the conversation before has always been, what is the plan after the state of emergency, right? How is the government going to keep the crime rate down once the state of emergency is lifted? Now, what, in your view, makes this necessary at this point?
Well, you raised, in my mind, you raised a vital issue there, because people have been asking, what after? Post-state of emergency. Now, let me go into Professor Raymond Clayton, because I think it's important to quote what he says. And he says, the formula is based on 3, phases: clear, hold, and build. Clear, hold, and build. But what amazed me is that this is not really some people see it as a quick fix and a short-term measure, but it's not a short-term measure. It's a long-term measure. And he went on to say it's not only days and months, but decades. And of course, the program in Jamaica, that is why his emphasis is on it being a multi-party, multicultural approach, because the program in Jamaica, it was supported by both political entities, major political entities. And then there was a challenge after, and it received some blows, and it was beginning to fail until they recognized that the only way forward is for all the political entities and stakeholders and NGOs to move forward with it. So I was very interested in what he had to say, because he had recommended it to the Jamaican government. So that the big challenge here is, and I don't know if, I think some people are being hypocritical. You have to have a bridge after your state of emergency. You can't have state of emergency and just, think everything will work out just right. Because as we saw 2 nights ago, you had 3 murders, in different sections of the country. And I want to quote Leela Ramdeen, who has always spoken about the migratory criminal, so that the criminal who operates is from, let's say, zone A, but is killing in zone B. And you have contract killers in the country also, and they killed it in not to the same extent, but during the state of emergency you had murders, and one would expect that going forward that they would think that they would have freedom to operate. And therefore, I believe, in the absence of any other recommendation, the zone of special operations that will focus on specific areas. Now, we turn everything into a race thing and a party thing and what have you there. But I am looking at a committed, focused, medium to long-term strategy, because you still have areas where you have killings, and you still have killers, and you still have contract killers there. And as I said before, the zone of special operations will have to be buttressed and reinforced by NGOs, by social intervention, by religious intervention, and all of that has got to take place. Now, my whole idea about fighting crime in Trinidad has been based for years around the term courage, but I think we lack the courage, all right, to deal with certain individuals. I'll give you one example right now that is taking place right now. There's a triangulated, all right, arrangement between killers on the ground and killers inside the prison. I am aware of that because 2 people within the past month, they were threatened to be killed, and one was almost killed. One was a banker and the other a business person. And what happened in that case is that the 2 people who have been killed are witnesses in a particular case, all right, where they are the innocent ones trying to bring justice, and they are being targeted, all right, by some, I mean, professional assassins. And I'm not talking, I'm talking about what I know, because one of the 2 came to me and complained that he was in need of protection and that he was just fighting for his rights. And it involved real estate, for example. So that you have to move with this. You have the issue of corruption. I have said behind every corrupt cop is a businessman, an attorney, and a politician. You have to look at the political dimension of corruption. All right, you have to look at all of that. You have to look at the situation in the schools with the recruiting by the gangs. I mean, to give you a couple examples of where we have to go, because while the violence in the schools have toned down significantly, there is still violence apart out external to the school. All right, where the gang leaders are still, and drug dealers are still recruiting young people, and it's young boys and young girls. I want to bring to your attention what took place a few months ago with 2 young ladies from Arima, because to my mind it makes the point, so that everybody has got to get on board. The Parent Teachers Association must get on board. The sporting clubs must get on board. The neighborhood watch groups that have to get on board. The schools and the PTAs must get on board. The business groups must also get on board. Chambers of commerce must get on board. Churches must get on board.
Yeah, and that brings back to your point that hard policing is not enough in a situation like this.
No. And of course, you have people in the security agencies, including the police, who are crooked. And they are going to undermine, all right, anyone who attempts to continue to bring down this crime rate. But I want to point your attention to the issue of women involvement in high criminality. And I want to remind you of what took place late last year with 2 girls from Arima in their 20s, 30s, and they were found in Tobago, all right? They were going to Germany to carry cocaine, and they were caught. Apparently there's a lot of intelligence and international linkages here with local security agencies, 2, all right, of them, young girls. And they were found with cake mixed that turned out to be cocaine. Now they're from Arima. They went to Crown Point en route to Germany. Now I talk about the triangulation because what you had there, we don't produce cocaine here. So that came from Latin America, okay? We even finding marijuana, the creepy kush, all right? And we found that, I have the figures with me right now, if you recall well, was 413 kilograms of creepy kush, and that came from Colombia. So these girls, more than likely, all right, they got the cocaine. We don't produce cocaine in Trinidad, so that came from Latin America, and they were pushing it to Europe. So here you have 3, mafiatic groups combining together, and these young girls getting involved and will be in jail for a good part of their lives. So that it takes all of us, and I repeat, all of us, to get on board, not just the government, not just the police, not just the army, but all of us to get on board, because unless we want to see this thing continue forever and ever. And I want to repeat that the zones of special operation is not a short term. It is not short term. Yeah. It is long term, medium to long term.
Now, what about the argument that this zones of special operations could stigmatize already vulnerable communities? I mean, how can we go about avoiding that or safeguarding these communities to prevent that from happening?
Okay, now let me tell you something. I work in, there are just about a few of us, under 10, who are working in some of these communities. And I could tell you the majority of parents, for example, are very happy that there'll be a continuing impact, because in an effort especially to save the young people. Because let me tell you something, those criminals are going through all this intellectual analysis and that kind of thing that some people engage in. And let me talk to the issue of the godfathers of the drug trade. I listened to David Mohammed, Dr. Mohammed, very well in his very passionate statement on the next station, on another station, when he spoke about it wouldn't deal with the issue of the godfathers of the drug trade. Well, I want to say, in the first instance, the tools of the godfathers are some of these same people who are committing crime, pushing the cocaine, recruiting young people in the schools, getting folks like those 2 young girls to risk their lives, all right, and end up in jail for 30, 40 years. So I want to say that there is a cooperation and a synergy between the godfathers of the drug trade and the people on the ground in what we call hotspots. And I don't think any of us have any, doubt about where the hotspots are. The biggest problem you have with the hotspots is that Leela Ramdin has said that you have the what is called the migratory criminal. So they could be in Laventille but killing in Arima. They could be in Arima and killing in South or in Central Trinidad. And if you watch what is happening in Enterprise, the killings of, you've seen a resurrection of some of the killings. So that I am saying we have to attack where we can attack, and we have to have that in terms of the godfathers of the drug trade, the billionaires and multimillionaires, you also have to go after them. But the strategy in terms of them would involve Interpol, it would involve FBI, it would involve Mr. Trump, sorry to put it that way very frankly, it would involve the Metropolitan Crime Fighting International Agencies, because the strategy you use for the godfathers of the drug trade will be different to the strategy you use for the folks, in some of the, what you just call deprived areas.
What about that relationship between residents and law enforcement? And, that sometimes that trust between them could be...
You have raised, my dear Sister Naomi, I think your name is,
yes.
You have raised a vital issue there. That, to my mind, is the second most important issue, the relationship between law enforcement and the residents. And I would hope that the community policing and groups like the police youth clubs and what have you there a lot more will be invested in them by the state, okay, to get that relationship at what I call peak level. Unless you have that, you have to get buy-in. Everybody has to buy into this, and I'm quoting Professor Clayton here. He says, yesterday he said everybody has got to buy into that. The community police service. I know some of the police officers in the ranks who deal with crime, they feel that community policing is soft policing, but community policing is the intervention you need, because you have to have the relationship between parents, children, and the police, and it has to be consistent. And I repeat, it is long term. A lot of comments by commentators, some of them don't know what they're talking about, is talking about this as a short term and a quick fix and moving there for 6 months. No, this is long term. This is years. We're talking about years. This thing didn't happen overnight, and it wouldn't go away overnight.
Right. Now, ultimately, how can we measure the success of this? Based on, the success that Jamaica had with a similar initiative, what are the indicators that we should be looking for once this is rolled out?
Well, the indicators you're looking for, of course, you're looking at your stats. You cannot avoid that. You want a reduction in the murder rate, reduction in criminality, reduction in home invasion. But I think a major factor will be the organization on the ground of community support groups. All right, that to my mind is important. And I would like, if I could advise the government at all, to tell them that you see the mileage MyPat, groups like that, Civilian Conservation Corps. I want to make a direct appeal for national service with the zones of special operations. I fail to see how you could have meaningful reform unless you have groups coming back like the Civilian Conservation Corps, national service, and for the young people who don't wish to cooperate, all right? You have to think about things like the boot camps. You have to get there so that any penetration of the community must involve significant investment in what I call creative, proactive institutions. And I deal with the issue of national service. I think we have spoken about that, and we have had a kind of what I call very zigzagged approach to national service. But we need and the whole country, part of the problem that makes us different from Jamaica is the plurality of our society. It's multicultural, multi-religious, multi-ethnic. So you have that kind of thing. So that therefore, you have to have, and buy-in is important, but you have to have significant groups in these hotspots, all right, to make a difference. And there must be some program whereby those who do not wish to cooperate and want to maintain a life of crime, all right, will be forced out, all right, and placed in a group whereby the law will determine that they have to get into a program. They have to get into the program. They can't waste their life away on the street corners and the street blocks.
Is that the, when we look at, because this was another conversation, so I don't really want to get into this part of it too much, but just to get your view really quickly about, you know, consequences for younger people versus older when it comes to crime.
Well, the situation is one is, I believe that the youth training camp, the juvenile prisons requires a lot of reform. Sometimes institutions collapse like the St. Michael's Home in Digicel, and we don't hear what happens after that. So that it is important, all right, it is important that we look clearly at the issue of the consequences. Now, Officer Charbin and I went to a home that was in a state of crisis, and the home was in Digicel, I can tell you. And a lot of people had intervened. Here was a 15-year-old who was having, you know, connections with gangs, all right? And his mother was a 4th-stage cancer survivor. And school closing at 3, and he's coming in at 9. Now, you see, these are issues you have to look at carefully and give parents and single parents to the support that is required. Because some of these parents are not able, and sometimes the parents are not able, and the grandparents try, and the grandparents themselves are not able. That's where the state has to come in. And I want to emphasize that we went to that home, and the mother reported to us that she was a stage 4 cancer survivor. And when she tried to discipline the son and lock him out at 9 o'clock in the night because school closing at 2:30 and he's coming home at 9, he promptly kicked her in her face and damaged her. So that that took a lot of us to go in there and bring an intervention, you know, an almost permanent solution there. And what we discovered, Officer Charbin and I, and in several homes, is that the parents didn't agree in terms of discipline. So not only the state has to agree in terms of discipline, and the law will make provision for kids under 18, under 16, and those who are adults and hardened criminals. The law has made a clear distinction with that. But what I want to say is that we must work on building effective relationships between law enforcement agencies and parents and communities. That is what we have to work on. It can't be just go in there like a bull in a china shop and you come out to mash up everything and everybody. That cannot be the approach. That approach would move, all right? That approach will not move. So the issue of building relationships and identifying homes in the community, all right, that are in a state of crisis, where parents are frustrated, they're pulling, they're here out, they don't know what is the next move, and that is where, and not just the police, but the police have to work in concert with the counselors and social workers. And we have to mass produce more counselors and more social workers, because right now we don't even have enough to service the schools, if you please, there. And I want to, again, advised the Ministry of Youth, Ministry of Education, that there are special groups, the guides, the pathfinders, the scouts, that we have to bring back into the schools, all right? And we mustn't treat that lightly and see that as just a soft approach. It wouldn't bring results anytime soon. We have got to have those social support youth systems into the schools and into the communities. And I believe that when it comes to marriage enrichment and putting the family at the highest level of operations, the church has to play a bigger role within the community.
Mm-hmm. Now, Pastor Dawson, before we close, what message will what is your message to communities who will soon find themselves designated as a zone of special operation?
Well, my message to them is that it is important for them to play a positive role in institutions that already exist there. Yesterday, I call Officer Shabby his name, but I work with other police officers like Sergeant J.C. Small. But let me call Sergeant J.C. Small. Mm-hmm. You might have heard about him. We went to Tabati Composite School on the invitation of a very proactive guidance counselor. Part of the problem there was that some of the young people given trouble, their fathers were in jail, they were incarcerated. And even when families broke up, the young males, especially the young males, were not happy, all right, with the new partner of the mom. So you see where family counseling is critical in going into these areas. And I want to tell parents that where you see the government and the protective services seeking to make an intervention and save your child, do not, all right? You cooperate, you create a link between yourself and the law enforcement agencies, because I would suggest that the majority of the law enforcement agencies who are involved in community policing, they want what is best for your child. Sometimes I have witnessed in police youth clubs that there are parents who do not want anybody to correct their child. That I think is a big issue in this society. Parents do not want anybody to correct their child. They would even go as far as to take their child out of a group like Pathfinders, out of the group like the Pentecostal Crusaders, and out of the police youth club, because they don't want anybody, all right, to intervene. They want to struggle alone and fail alone. Let me just mention that. But when I'm talking about Tabati Composite School, we went in there, a team of us, Rondell Fields, myself, Sergeant J.C. Small, 2 other police officers, and we spent 2 hours with those young people, and the response was amazing, and it continues to be amazing, because that is one of the schools that proves that when there's collaboration between the various groups within the community, all right, you get a measure of success. And before I go, there's a known international case in San Luis Obispo County in California, all right, where a group was formed called Lifeboat 14, and it was comprised of retired, all right, people who were parents, retirees, and they took up, there was vast violence in 6 schools, and they took up their positions at midday, at lunchtime in those schools. And they had a great relationship and collaboration with the administration of the school and the Parent Teachers Association. And within a year to a year and a half, they brought down crime and violence in those 6 schools tremendously. So I'm saying if we make an effort, and if we are consistent, and if we are focused, and if we are united, we can solve the problem.
Yeah. Thank you, Pastor Dawson, very much for joining me on the program this morning and sharing that. I agree with you. I think the communities really do need to come together and support the initiative, because we have to work alongside law enforcement for this to work. So thank you again for that.
God bless you.
Same to you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Good.
All right, so we are going now to take a quick break. When we come back, have another more entertaining conversation for you. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
The countdown has started for the biggest raffle ever in Trinidad and Tobago on behalf of Queens Royal College, valued at just under $1 million for 3 brand new vehicles. First prize is a luxurious Ford Ranger. Draw date is Saturday, January 24th at the college. Tickets only $100.
Final purchase date for physical tickets is this coming Monday, January 19th.
No further extensions. You hear? Some ticket outlets include IslandEtickets.com,
Legends, Sports Bar, Point Fortin,
6 Liquor Mart, Bonds Road,
Mileage Mac, Port of Spain and San Fernando,
Fitz Street Market, R.A.P. Avenue,
Mepco, Marabar,
Tony's Hardware, Belmont,
Shane's Supermarket, Aruca,
Hot Shop, Mukarapa Road,
St. James Pharmacy, opposite the Police Barracks,
Anderson Fashion, opposite City Gate, Icebox, Riverside Road, Direct,
Gabby Discount Hardware, both outlets,
Color Shop, Diego Martin and St. James,
Juma Supermarket, Valencia,
MS Food City, Tebe,
Mirage Supermarket, Paget Main Road. Get your tickets now.
Call the college at 622-1671 or the hotline at 491-1802.
I wish you would have leaned into that just a little bit more. I think he was missing a little bit of the sass.
On WESN, the content capital.
Maybe he landed here totally by coincidence. But if by chance he's admiring your fresh coat of Benjamin Moore soft sky blue, well, that's a pretty high compliment. Coming from an expert.
Take some time for yourself or spend some time with the family at Sandy Point Village Hotel. Enjoy our various studio and suite apartments, self-contained with their own kitchenettes and Wi-Fi. We also have our famous 100-foot swimming pool and our beachfront restaurant, the Steak and Lobster Grill. And our location in Crown Point puts us near the center of activity, from the nylon pool to the local nightlife. Call us and make your reservations at 639-8533, 389-2378, or email us at sandypointvillagehotel@gmail.com.
Money is something we all deal with, but how many of us truly understand it? What if you could make better decisions with your money? Decisions that secure your future, protect your family, and bring you peace of mind. I'm Darren Jacobs, and I'm here to help you make sense of your dollars. Welcome to Dollars and Cents, the show that breaks down the financial world in ways that matter to you. No jargon, no confusion, just real conversations about money, your money. So join me every Wednesday at 10 a.m. on WESN for Dollars and Cents.
Pastor J, I want to get a tattoo.
You really
respond
want
to me. Respond to me how you would respond to me.
The first question I'll ask is why?
Controversial taboo topics.
We get so consumed by church, we forget that we have to live the life of being a Christian outside of the Sunday.
Like you say, we think going to a service makes us a Christian.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right. So here we are about to hear the second time Pastor J wanted to take a tattoo.
Would have been late last year and early this year.
Oh gosh.
Hope Unfiltered podcast with Pastor J and Ren.
Knowing how to tell authentic is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Find it, match it, search it. Step 1. Find the style number on the tag. Step 2. Match the style number inside the jersey with the number on the tag. Step 3. Search it. A quick Google search of the style number will verify the jersey is authentic when the search results match the jersey being searched. Don't be fooled by counterfeit jerseys. Before you buy, remember to find it, match it, search it.
Fan Zone, 2 locations nationwide. Center City Mall, Chaguanas, and Movietown, Port of Spain. Nationwide delivery available.
You are watching Strictly Legal on WESN Content Capital. Just give an overview of what exactly is that split arrangement.
In the studio now, you don't need to register nothing. You don't need. We can do that another time. But then it becomes a hit, and then everybody starts to want to claim.
The laws that predate
many of the independent countries' constitutions are going to be those colonial laws.
We know there are an infinite amount of circumstances that would lead to a murder.
I have a great idea and I have a great concept, but until it's actually expressed, it does not become intellectual property.
Accomplishments or targets of a forensic accountant is to quantify what may have been lost.
We believe we defend criminals and we manipulated the law and we exploited the system.
A responsible journalist will reach out to the person who they have the information on for a comment.
We are tackling the hard-hitting topics, some controversial topics, some topics we sweep under the rug. You don't always have to forgive in a relationship for it to move forward.
If it is you are in a situation where you forgive the person, but to the detriment of yourself, what are you really doing?
It is very uncommon for somebody in the younger age group to have dementia.
Atheists don't not believe.
Is that I can't disprove God, but you also can't prove God, so we cannot have a stalemate.
We'll focus on the woman who's been the victim, or the man has been the victim. We exclude the children.
Folks are trying to study the underlying brain mechanism to figure out how does this particular disorder happen in the brain? How is the brain processing this?
Don't worry about AI, worry about humans working with AI.
Are you willing to learn new skills to stay relevant for the future job market? That's the challenge that people are going to struggle with.
This is Face of Sports, WESN Content Capital. How you felt about the kiss on the lips?
That's the business. I'm not to do with that.
I find that was distasteful.
The national senior team, whether you like it or not, that is the model for all other teams to follow.
I'm assuming that the regional requirement may be a much stricter requirement.
This is not about Pro League and Super League. This is a league run by the Normalization Committee that I'm responsible for.
Nobody expected FIFA to fund this arrangement.
If we don't get a professional attitude towards this, we are doomed for failure.
You break the balance, trip the leg, control the body.
They ain't gonna stand put forever.
Why you want the Chiefs to lose so? Why you want the Chiefs to lose so?
They already have two. Lamar don't
Why?
have.
You're jealous because you know the Chiefs getting closer to the Patriots. Let's go to the last part.
No,
let's go to the last part.
Welcome back to AM Prime this morning. So our next guest is a Calypsonian Banjala, an artist whose music is deeply rooted in Trinidad and Tobago's storytelling tradition while pushing the genre forward. Now, Banjala was raised in Moruga and now based in Chaguanas. He has built a reputation for heartfelt, socially conscious music, earning accolades locally and internationally. His latest release, Staying in Power, continues that tradition, blending folk, calypso, and Afro influences to explore resilience, leadership, and endurance in today's world. So, good morning, Banjala. Welcome to AM Prime.
Grand Rising, thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining this morning. Before we get into the conversation, we have his song as well as a video attached to it that we will play now, just so you can get some context before we jump in. Take a look.
Yeah, I die. Yeah, I die. Yeah, I die. Lessons to be learned. Who the hair would always burn. When it comes to managing power, never get headstrong. The people will remove your crown, and all plans could turn sour. Walk humble and tread carefully with the people's business. Show empathy. You are not in office for personal gain, and the electorate would always show restraint. It's simple things just keep politicians in power. Don't get high and mighty and feel there's no tower. Never underestimate the voting finger. People want to feel safe with lights and running water. People want security to live their lives happy. Show them empathy and build the community. It's simple things just keep politicians in power, and you could lead them like a lamb to the slaughter. Staying in power. Answer your phone. The electorate has concerns. When the election come, they will remember. Always be around. Keep your feet planted on the ground, and the electorate will keep you strong. Socializing with the high and mighty. Them big potholes you never see. Water in the pipe once fortnightly. 5 years does come oh so quickly. It's simple things that keep politicians in power. When the ballots count, power could be over. No, you can't drop asleep as thought slinger. It's too late now. It's all over. Is you chart your destiny? Your war's too busy. Your big friends and company disappear so quickly. It's simple things that keep politicians in power. It always pays to be a servant leader. Want the next term to fix the people's concerns. Look how fast your 5 years over. You're armed with policies and plans. Your main concern is the small man. You can remember when last you lent a helping hand. The trappings of office makes you a different man. They were waiting patiently with their voting hand. This will be your destiny. Politics is not a feeding frenzy. No, simple things that keep politicians in power. When 5 years pass, you can't recover. Where were you when we faced disaster? Anything you do must have a camera. You never connect with the ground. No, you was never around. It's simple things that keep politicians in power. Now election done, dog eat your supper. Staying in power. Hoping to return all them bridges you burn. I hope the lessons learned make you smarter. Connect back with the ground if you want back your crown, or you will fail over and over. Yeah. Start to walk around. Touch base back with the ground. politics has no special season. The people's power could build you back strong. It's simple things that keep politicians in power. Now election close, we start getting water. We quality of life ain't get no better. But you come back round, tracking we finger. Oh no, your presence we miss. You didn't attend the wake for Miss Christmas. It's simple things that keep politicians in power. As you said, Jack Robinson, the power over. Staying in power.
And that was Staying in Power by Banjala. The video itself, I mean, it touched very deeply. You know, and the phrase itself, staying in power, is a very powerful phrase. What would have inspired that for you to, you know, felt that it was timely now to create something like this?
Firstly, we look at Kaisonian as the messenger. You know, and through Kaiso, our stories are told. And Kaisonians, we bring what we call the old people papers, or the long time papers, which was, you know, bringing the messages through Kaiso. And so this particular song was written by Mr. Ford. And so it talks about leadership and what you do when you become a leader as regards to becoming empathetic to people's needs and, you know, helping the community in whatever special way, answering your phone, making sure you're updated with the community, the Burgesses, and all these people that stood up with you during even your campaign. You know, it's just more than political, it's religious as well. Even if you are a religious leader, how you deal with people. You know, even if you are a manager or a boss, you know, it encompasses everything as it relates to leadership and how you treat people.
Right. Now, when you talk about power in this track, what are you referring to? Political power, personal strength, cultural identity? Where is that power coming from?
Well, that power is everything in general, because, as I said, staying in power is more as the people put you in a position to lead, to guide, so that's in a political aspect. And people who are holding leadership responsibilities in a church, in a mosque, in a temple, whatever religious denomination you belong to, you are an example to the people, and the people are looking on. They put you there to lead. You are in the position to lead, then you must be compassionate and hold the leadership qualities.
Right. Now, Calypso has always been a space for, and as you said, you know, for this social commentary. It's very, it has always been that, you know. So when people hear the song Staying in Power, what type of conversations do you hope or do you expect to get after listening to this song?
You know, Kaiso, you have to think out of the box, because it deals with situations, whether in the country or globally, internationally. So if you look at the song itself, it talks about any person that has leadership responsibility all over the world, whether Trinidad. But people always think political as PNM. Because people ask me, is it a PNM song? Is it a USC song?
Yeah.
And I'll be
that's
like,
what we know.
I'll be like, hey, it's a Kaiso, and you have to think out of the box. If it is relevant, the situation that is actually happening, all right. I'm not the one to tell you, like, no.
So it can be applied to any situation.
Yes, it can.
Okay.
It can.
Now, the song itself, do you think it's a form of, or would you like it to be a form of resistance, motivation, or reflection, or all of the above?
All of the above, especially motivation. I want to actually motivate leaders, let them know, hey, if you wasn't doing X, Y, Z, buck up on yourself.
Yeah.
You know, it's taught, you know, to kind of get back in yourself and say, wait now, I wonder what I'm doing wrong, boy. I listen to this guy, so boy, this thing preaching to me in some way, boy. If I wasn't answering or I wasn't doing this, or I'm gonna back up on it as a leader.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Now, as you said, Mr. Ford, he is the songwriter behind this masterpiece. Yeah. What was the production like going into, you know, not just the songwriting, but once the song was there, creating the end result, creating the video, creating the finding this rhythm, this beat to match the weight of the message?
Well, to be honest with you, this thing started somewhere. And it started with me saying last year that I was not actually going to compete this year in anything with Release the Kaiso. I would have just released a Kaiso. But I said to myself, I'm not also going to write this year because I'm also a songwriter. Yeah. And I said, you know what? God had to come in the form of a man, yes, and bring a Kaiso and drop it on my lap for me to do anything this year. And so said, Mr. Ford called me in November, it was last year, and he said, Angela, I have a song for you. I said, Mr. Ford, you have a song for me? Because I never say I'm not going to do anything. Yeah. And then he said, yes, Angela, well, listen to it. I listened to the song. It took me about 2 weeks before I could have said yes to him. Right. I said, Mr. Ford, I'm going to do this song. I went to the US. While in the US, he keep calling me, Banjo, you're doing this song. Banjo, you're doing this song. Time coming up. Just now you had to record this song. I said, Mr. Ford, I'm going to do this song. I'll do this song. And then with that now, I don't know where it relates to the composition with him, but I know what he sent me before to now is a complete different arrangement. I know, thanks, hats off to Julio. You know, he is the one that did the production of this masterpiece. Yes. You know, so Mr. Ford and him collaborated to bring about the vibe that we were looking for in this particular piece.
Yeah. Where did the idea come from for the video? Because as you all would have seen, it was clips of real world news and situations. And
Exactly. So that's in a nutshell. So when somebody say, is it for this one or that one? I said, no, it's
everything.
Everything, encompass everything.
Now you received international recognition in your career, the African Entertainment Awards. Yes. Do you feel a greater responsibility having gotten that in this message that you are now putting out?
Yes.
Through this song?
When I won the award when I was nominated for the award in 2023. And won it in 2023, I was overwhelmed knowing that I made a commitment to continue to be relevant and to continue to show an example to younger people that is in the Kaiso arena. That saying, I know consistency is very important, not giving up, pursuing your goals. The sky is the limit and beyond that, because if I could win an international award, that's hard work. That's hard work started from a very young age. I started singing at 7, right? And keep on going. I remember in 2017 when I entered the Young King Calypso Monarch arena, I came 4th with my own composition. And then in 2018, I came 2nd, 2019, 3rd, and 2020 1st. Right. And because of all these hard work that I've put in, it shows international recognition. They spotted it and they realized, hey, this person is doing a good job. The nomination process began. People voted for me. I won the Best Calypso Soca Award.
Yeah. What do you think now? I'm going to make reference to you being, you know, such you have a role in the Kaiso scene, you know, and I'm making reference to your song, Staying in Power. You come like a leader, right, in the Kaiso industry. So how do you think, because I've had conversations before about, you know, getting young people into the Calypso, into Kaiso, understanding, because this is part of our culture. Yes, have you seen difference, or have you seen more understanding of the young people coming up and the Kaiso scene?
Yes, because I went for audition this year. Right, and I see a vast number of young people, a turnout of young people as never before. And I was like, wow, over 80-something people auditioned, you know? And there was a lot of soca artists that came to the fore. You know, Calypso is the mother of soca.
Yeah.
We can't get away from that. Soca is Kaiso, right? Right? And I'm amazed to see the young people gravitate into the art form even better. Even I'm seeing Nelly Kotoy, the queen of Zest, actually performing for the National Queen semi-finals. It was like, woo. You know, a lot of young people is really stepping up on the mark. So Kaiso in
it's safe to say it's not a dying art form.
There would be some hiccups, bumpy roads. You know, as I said in one of my songs, walk the road, Banjala, walk the Kaiso road. One day you go wear the crown with a smile, have faith and walk the road. It's actually a story of walking a Kaiso road, not an easy road. Anything in life is not easy. You're not going to get it easy, but sacrifice pays off in the end.
Now, and you said you were not planning to release a song this year. However, you know, God had other plans.
Yeah, I actually wasn't planning to compete.
Right.
But I was going to release a song.
Right.
But God had other plans. He said, okay, Banjala, you're going to deliver the song. And
So, what is next for Banjala musically, apart from this song?
I'm working presently on an Afro pop album.
Right.
Right, and I'm getting ready to release one of the songs from that album, which is 18 songs. And I'm just waiting on that opportune moment and campaigning after the carnival to actually release the song in the right timing. So they can look out for my Afrobeat album soon to be released soon, and a single out from it.
Definitely. Do you think it's hard to blend that Afrobeat with the Kaiso?
No, it's not. Not. Because I mean, Calypso, if you look back at the history, is actually from our ancestors, African ancestors that came here through the Atlantic slave trade, and so the mourning and the groaning and during that journey from Africa to the diaspora, that alone in itself shows the resilience of a people and how they express themselves, and that was through a particular musical style, and that is Kaiso. You know, when you hear people like the late singing Sandra, who is my mentor, we know as mother, and how she projects, and Ella Andal and all these great Kaisonian, Lord Nelson and David Rudd, all this is African vibration. And so African music, which is Afropop and Afrobeat music, is not far from that. It's the same rhythmic pattern, but we have our unique style, the Caribbean flavor style.
Yeah. You know? Now, as you said that, I'm like, in terms of education and history about Kaiso and all of it goes way back. Do you think we need more of that in our schools today?
Yes. I mean, what made me love Kaiso even more is the construction of how it has to be written.
Yes.
It's a story. And for those who did composition in school and comprehension and essay writing, all this stuff, but I was a poet when I was younger. I loved poet. I used to write a lot of poems, right? And so that Kaiso gravitated to me. I gravitated to Kaiso, because of its unique way of how you use metaphors and things. You want to say something, we're making people think out of the box. What are you saying there? You know, that
and
is
one
Kaiso.
thing can mean five.
It can mean so many things.
Five other things.
So people need to not misinterpret Kaiso. Think out of the box and get in the head of the writer.
Yeah. This song itself is incredible. I just want to say that.
Thank you very much.
Now, if you had to sum it up, you know, this song, what does it really take to stay in power in life and in music?
Character, patience, being empathetic, you know, because the world needs positivity. And until we come back and bring the community together through positive mindsets, introducing things like Kaiso, we will have a better community.
Yes, that's deep. Thank you very much. I think all of it. I hope we hear this song more. I think we'll play it at the end before we end the show today. But thank you so much, Adelon. In case y'all didn't know, I think his name was up on the screen. Adelon, brave boy. Thank you very much for coming on this morning and talking to us about this song, a very timely song.
Yes, and thank you very much, Naomi, for having me. Naomi is a lovely name.
Thank you. Thank you. I do hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
Stay safe.
Yes.
So we are going to take a quick break now. And stay with me, we'll be right back.
Hello.
Welcome to Cover Star. This is Advanced Dynamics, where it all happened, the scene of the grind. For 4 days in December, this 22 by 30-foot studio turned an idea on paper into real-life reality TV. When these doors were shut behind performers, it was truth time. No audience, no applause. Just the cameras, the crew, and the ones who comment. Our mission is simple: bridge generations and genres. Jog our collective cultural memory. You're inside Cover Star, where music history meets its next voice. On WESN, the content capital.
This coming Monday, January 19th, it's your last day to purchase physical tickets for the massive 3-car raffle promoted on behalf of Queens Royal College.
There will be no further extensions, so get your tickets by this Monday, January 19th.
Draw date is Saturday, January 24th at the college. Some ticket outlets include IslandEtickets.com,
Bobby's Bar, Belmont,
Better Homes, Front Street and Caroni,
ADM Supermarket, Arima,
Centric Dookie Supermarket, Eastern Main Road, Dabity, Dobbs Hardware, Diggle Martin Main Road,
ABC Windows and Doors, El Socorro,
Freddy's Bakery, Western Main Road, St. James, and 4 Roads, Diggle Martin,
Mode Alive,
Farmer Supermarket, Santa Cruz,
Sonar Jewelers, Chaguanas, and Pinal,
Island Hobbies, Wrightson Road,
The Express, Minimart, Majuba Crossroads,
Stacy Supermarket, Toco,
Leo Rain Hardware, Tragrick Road, ADC Supermarket, Arima. Get your tickets now.
Call the college at 622-1671 or the hotline at 491-1802.
Necessity as an art form. That's the simple, basic heights a carnival mat. Understanding what you don't have, but at the same time, figuring out what you do have and patching it together to make it sing. Cover Star, where music history meets its next voice. On WESN, the content capital.
Bill and Ruth fell in love with the Benjamin Moore color Dry Sage, but they tried to match it using another brand's paint.
I mean, it's close enough.
Almost identical, really. Yeah, there it is.
Never trust another paint to be a Benjamin Moore color.
Knowing how to tell authentic is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Find it, match it, search it. Step 1, find the style number on the tag. Step 2, match the style number inside the jersey with the number on the tag. Step 3, search it. A quick Google search of the style number will verify the jersey is authentic when the search results match the jersey being searched. Don't be fooled by counterfeit jerseys. Before you buy, remember to find it, match it, search it.
Fan Zone, 2 locations nationwide. Center City Mall, Chaguanas, and Movietown, Port of Spain. Nationwide delivery available.
This is Face of Sports, WESN Content Capital. How you felt about the kiss on the lip?
That's the business. I'm not to do with that.
I find that was distasteful.
The national senior team, whether you like it or not, that is the model for all other teams to follow.
I'm assuming that the regional requirement may be a much stricter requirement.
This is not about Pro League and Super League. This is a league run by the normalization committee that I'm responsible for.
Nobody expected FIFA to fund this arrangement.
If we don't get a professional attitude towards this, we are doomed for failure.
You break the balance, trip the leg, control the body.
They ain't gonna stand put forever.
Why you want the Chiefs to lose so? Why you want the Chiefs to lose so?
They already have two. Lamar don't
Why?
have.
You're jealous because you know the Chiefs getting closer to the Patriots. Let's go to the last part.
No,
of the
not no.
Let's go to the last part.
There are limitations in all the healthcare sectors,
Correct.
not just this country,
Yes.
where the numbers will surpass the amount of doctors
Yes.
and nurses to provide that quality care. We're talking about holding a patient's hand, giving them the support, the emotional support that they need, advice. That gap, you are providing that pivotal gap, so that really makes you stand out from all other NGOs as far as my experience goes.
Yes, I actually go into the homes also of the patient. Welcome back to AM Prime this morning. So it's now time for Feel Good Friday, where we highlight stories reminding us that progress is happening, innovation is alive, and our young people are being prepared for the future. So today's Feel Good Friday, first Feel Good Friday story comes from the world of science, technology, and education. As the National Institute of Higher Education, Research, Science, and Technology, better known as NIHUST, in collaboration with Shell Trinidad and Tobago, officially launched the first Tech Challenge pilot season here in Trinidad and Tobago. Now, this isn't just another school program, this is a global robotics initiative, and Trinidad and Tobago is now officially part of it. According to a media release, NIHUST and Shell successfully hosted the launch and showcase the launch and showcase of the first Tech Challenge, also known as the FTC, under the 2025-2026 global theme Decode. The first Tech Challenge is an international robotics competition designed for students between the ages of 12 and 18, where teams are challenged to design, build, and program robots capable of completing themed missions. Now, here's your real win with this program. It goes far beyond robots itself. It's guided by mentors and coaches, and students apply science, technology, engineering, even mathematics, which, as we know, is STEM principles, while developing creativity, teamwork, leadership, and problem-solving skills that will serve them for life. Now, this year's theme, Decode, challenges teams to explore the world's artifacts and unlock hidden mysteries through innovation and discovery. This encourages students not just to build machines, but to think critically, ask questions, and solve these real-world problems that are brought before them. Locally, the FTC pilot season builds on NIHU's successful implementation of the first LEGO League, another internationally recognized robotics program previously sponsored by Shell. The FTC now offers students a clear progression pathway, moving from the LEGO-based robotics into advanced engineering design, Java programming, and high-level robotic systems. So this is the actual technological side of it, and these engineering aspects. So it's not just building blocks, but now they're actually allowed to take the technology and bring it to life, right? Now, this initiative underscores NEHU's commitment to nurturing a new generation of innovators, of engineers, of coders, and of problem solvers, equipped for an increasingly digital and technology-driven economy. Now, at the launch, Minister of Education, Dr. Michael Dowlath, he spoke, and he reminded the students and educators alike that the program is about much more than technology. He said, quote, "The first tech challenge is not just about teaching technology, it is about teaching life skills, teaching you teamwork, and teaching you to think global and act local to affect your present situation," end quote. And perhaps one of the most exciting announcements of the morning, Dr. Michael Dowlath revealed the arrangements will be made to embed robotics clubs across schools nationwide, including primary and ECCE schools. So that's right, we can see robotics and coding at the early stages of education, which will be implemented in the coming months. Also at the launch, delivering remarks was Professor Prakash Prasad, Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, and NEHU's line minister, who highlighted the importance of ensuring students gain a strong foundation in mathematics and logic, especially as it relates to coding. Professor Prasad also stressed that understanding that language of code and the mathematical reasoning behind it is essential, and challenged both NEHUS and Shell to ensure that math remains a core focus of the program. NEHUS's acting president, Julie David, described the FTC pilot as a major milestone in the organization's journey. She said, quote, "Today we stand at the edge of another exciting frontier. The first tech challenge is our next bold step forward. This pilot program goes beyond Lego bricks and introduces students to advanced robotics, programming, and design. It's not just about building robots, but about building futures," end quote. And I think it's interesting because we are seeing this becoming more relevant. The engineering aspect and STEM principles as well being introduced to young students, from really young. Recently, I would have also had a conversation with some QRC. Two QRC young men who did a Minecraft building competition, and they came first, and this was a global competition, and they represented Trinidad and Tobago at this competition. Was about agriculture and engineering as well. And what they created, they did really well with it, and they got the first place. So this is just to show that whatever they're doing to include these STEM principles and embed this into young people, it's actually working. And furthermore, Shell Trinidad and Tobago's social performance and social investment advisor, Rissa Brathwaite, she also reinforced the company's high long-standing commitment to youth development. This is actually all of them that you see in this photo. She noted that Shell's investment in the program represents a belief in young people and their potential, adding that the goal is to create an ecosystem where students can experiment boldly, fail forward, and succeed in ways that they never imagined. So the launch of this event itself brought together schools, educators, and youth organizations, all eager to take part in this transformative journey. The program featured live robotic demonstration, giving attendees a first-hand look at what students will be learning, creating, and offering a glimpse into the global robotics community they are now part of. This is a picture of one of the demonstrations. And you can see how young these students are in this photo. Now, the FTC pilot season will continue through 2026, culminating in a national robotics championship, where teams will compete for the opportunity to represent Trinidad and Tobago on the international stage. Not much information has been released just yet about this championship, but if you'd like more information on the first tech challenge and to find out when the championship begins, or how you can get involved, you can contact NEHUS via email at marketing at nehus.gov.tt, or you can call them at 758-3381. And that's for more information on the championship or on the robotics program itself. Now that's our first story for Good News Friday. As we continue our second story, we're turning our attention to a story that speaks directly to care, compassion, and community impact. We've touched on this sometime last year. It's a therapy organization, and it has been rolling for some months now, and we have an update on it. The bright colors, soft mats, neatly arranged toys. The Caribbean Kids and Family Therapy Organization, CKFTO. This is their satellite clinic on Ramsar Street in Chaguanas. This was launched a couple months ago, and now we are getting to see its progress and how it has been working in the community of Chaguanas, not just for Chaguanas, but Trinidad and Tobago as well. Now, at first glance, this looks like a regular playroom, but make no mistake, this is a purposefully designed therapeutic space where children with disabilities and their families can receive specialized support as they work towards stronger and more independent individuals. This opened in April of 2025. The Chaguanas Clinic is CKFTO's second location, and this is the one that we highlighted back when they launched. It represents a major step forward in expanding access to therapy services in Trinidad and Tobago for families, especially in Central and South Trinidad, where this was lacking. Now, before the opening of this satellite clinic, many families would travel really far weekly from communities as far as Mayaro and Maruga, making this long journey difficult to access these therapy locations because CKFTO's location was only in St. James. This expansion, thanks to this expansion, therapy is now closer to home for hundreds of families that deal with their kids with disabilities. According to a media release, more than 300 children across Trinidad and Tobago currently rely on CKFTO's subsidized services, which include occupational therapy, speech therapy, physiotherapy, art therapy, and psychoeducational assessments, services that are often life-changing for children with development and physical changes. Helping to make this Chaguanas Clinic fully functional and well-equipped is a significant contribution from Marubeni Power International Incorporated. Following months of procurement and installation, CKFTO welcomed sponsors and partners in December of 2025 for a walkthrough of its completed therapy rooms. Among those partners was Marubeni Power International, which donated $10,000 toward outfitting the clinic with pediatric rehabilitation equipment. Speaking on the donation, Mo Majid, Chief Operating Officer and Managing Director for Caribbean Operations at Marubeni Power International Incorporated, said the company was pleased to support the establishment of the Chaguanas Clinic. He also explained that the contribution was aimed at ensuring children across Trinidad and Tobago have equitable access to international standard therapeutic care, adding that the initiative reflects Marubeni's commitment to meaningful long-term community partnerships that deliver real impact for families. Now, the Marubeni Power International has been a partner of PowerGen in Trinidad and Tobago for more than 18 years and continues to support local and social development initiatives across the country. So this is just one of those initiatives. The general manager of CKFTO, Krista Hamill-Smith, she noted that the donation has significantly strengthened the organization's holistic, family-centered approach to therapy. And she also explained that the funding will enable the organization to purchase a full range of traditional psychotherapy tools, specialized quavers-medic exercises or CME equipment, as well as sensory-friendly resources specifically for that Chaguanas location that we saw on screen a little while ago. Hamel-Smith also shared that CKFTO's team is deeply passionate about maximizing each child's progress while creating a friendly, enjoyable environment grounded in international best practices. She also highlighted that CKFTO recognizes the importance of supporting not just the child, but the entire family, which is why the organization hosts family support groups and offers training sessions for parents, for caregivers, as well as teachers. Now, the impact of this, it does go further, and CKFTO intends it to go further. Beyond in-clinic services, the organization delivers much-needed community outreach programs addressing gaps in care for the vulnerable population. These include occupational therapy initiatives for migrant children especially, as well as services for abandoned children with disabilities living at the Mount Hope Hospital. The Chaguanas Clinic itself was made possible through the support of several generous benefactors, including Shamshad Ali, Director of Price Club, and the Digicel Foundation of Trinidad and Tobago, highlighting the power of public-private collaboration in meeting real community needs. And I think this was so important because this is something that Pastor Clive Doughton said earlier. You know, it's not just about dealing with crime, but normal community initiatives is what will bring, you know, the country together. And the public and private sector collaborating on different initiatives is a step forward in the right direction when we look at, you know, not just reducing crime, but also unity and including everybody, no matter your social standing, disabilities, and then for the younger generation as well. So as CKFTO looks forward to continue support from both public and corporate Trinidad and Tobago, it continues its mission to ensure that children with disabilities receive the care that they need closer to home and, of course, with dignity. So that brings us to the end of our Feel Good Friday stories. I think both stories go hand in hand. They highlighted that the country is definitely in the right direction for inclusivity, for education, and just for setting the stage for our younger generation to step forward and build a brighter, better future for Trinidad and Tobago. Now, I will leave you with this morning. This is a very powerful and thought-provoking quote by Joseph Addison. He said, "A man should always consider how much he has more than he wants." This is just something to encourage gratitude as you start your day and go forward. And of course, it's Friday, so you have the weekend ahead. So I do encourage everybody to stay safe while enjoying your weekend. And I will see you back here again Monday morning. Bye-bye.
WESN.
This coming Monday, January 19th, it's your last day to purchase physical tickets for a massive 3-car raffle promoted on behalf of Queens Royal College.
There will be no further extensions, so get your tickets by this Monday, January 19th.
Draw date is Saturday, January 24th at the college. Some ticket outlets include islandetickets.com,
Legends, Sports Bar, Point Fortin,
6 Liquor Mart, Barnes Road,
Mileage Mac, Port of Spain, and San Fernando,
Fitz Street Market, R&P Avenue,
Mepco, Marbar,
Tony's Hardware, Belmont,
Shane's Supermarket, Aruca,
Hot Shop, Mukarapa Road,
St. James Pharmacy, opposite the